Parodies in gaming can be very hit and miss. While some hit the mark, such as the Simpsons game, others rely so heavily on the humour that the game part of the experience suffers. Eat Lead, The Return of Matt Hazard, unfortunately, falls into the latter category. While it does have some genuinely funny moments and an interesting premise, these cannot mask the mediocre shooting action and a frustrating difficulty curve. But if you can stomach some of these frustrations, fans of games with tongue-in-cheek humour may want to check it out. Matt Hazard is a video game action hero who got his start with side-scrollers in the 80s. After signing on with Marathon, his success would only grow, so too would his ego, resulting in several awful spin-off games which caused Marathon to collapse. But under new leadership, Marathon Megasoft signed Hazard up for another game for next-generation consoles. But things quickly go south, as it's apparent Hazard was due for deletion rather than another success. Saved by a hacking QA, Hazard must trek through the game while saving his old comrades. There's also an outside hacker who complicates matters, bringing back enemies Hazard thought long buried. This lends an unpredictability to the game, and though it can be unfunny at points, a strong performance from Will Arnett as Matt Hazard keeps the game afloat. Eat Lead is an 8-level gauntlet through some varied locales that often are hacked and seamed with other elements, meaning cowboys can invade your Russian strip club level. There's an air of unpredictability as a result, and the mishmashed nature of the game is quite humorous. Once you start shooting, however, it's a very standard 7th gen third-person shooter. There's a point where the game's objectives jokes shoot everything in sight, and this sums up Eat Lead's gameplay to a T. Eventually, you do gain power-ups, which allow you to freeze and burn enemies, which is cool, as well as timed powers such as Hazard Time, which ups your weapon's power for a short moment. While the enemies and weapons are varied, the cover system is flawed to say the least, with Hazard often refusing to stick to surfaces you'd assume can serve as cover. Otherwise, everything is satisfactory if unremarkable, especially next to the litany of Gears of War clones around the time.
The name's Sonny Tang. That's Sonny as in Sonny, your ass is gonna get kicked, and Tang as in what? Tang!
So, it's pretty obvious you're not the brains of the operation.
Two key issues dent Eat Lead's charms. Despite the title, weapon scarcity is a major issue almost all of the time. You're constantly forced to search for weapons and swap guns, and because Hazard can only carry 2 at a time, you'll sometimes find yourself completely vulnerable due to running out of ammo. Hazard can perform a melee chain, but it's pretty weak. The other issue is enemy spawning, as all too often you'll find yourself picked off by enemies who spawn behind you. Hazard, despite being an 80s action hero, can sustain few hits before dying. A spotty checkpoint system only furthers the frustration. The bosses too can be tedious. They run the gambit of funny cliches, but the joke is on the player when they can kill you in a single hit, spawn endless grunts to chip at your health, and take copious amounts of damage. It adds up to a frustrating time. Eat Lead also represents dubious value for money. You can beat the main story's 8 levels in 7 hours, and there's very little to incentivize continuous play. There is no co-op or multiplayer, and the only unlockable is a harder difficulty. But when the normal mode is so frustrating, most players will avoid subjecting themselves to even more torturously hard gameplay. It's definitely on the thin side when it comes to replay value.
And it looks like they're about to ambush Bill Schindler.
Bill the Wizard? From Overlords of Wizard World? Nah, he'll be fine. He's what, level 75 by now?
Matt Hazard's newest game is also mixed on the presentation front. There's a lot of bland-looking environments with flat textures, and the characters look pretty rough around the edges. Some funny animations during cutscenes do keep the humour flowing, and in fairness, while everything is a bit drab-looking, the variety of enemies and mashup levels is appealing. The sound is stronger, with voice work from the likes of the aforementioned Will Arnett and Neil Patrick Harris, both of whom add comedy to the game. The music composer found their favourite track with a guitar riff solo, which grates due to repetition. But the occasional break from this track, including an epic orchestral score during a water gun fight, is quite funny. The only disappointment on the audio side lies with the guns, which fail to pack a satisfying punch. In the end, Eat Lead, The Return of Matt Hazard, is an underwhelming shooter, which is only saved by some genuinely funny moments. It's clear that this parody is more well thought out than most, and while some of its jokes fail to hit the mark, the sheer absurdity of the game does lend it an interesting twist. But the gameplay fails to hold up its end of the deal, with average shooting mechanics which range from dull to frustrating. If you're looking for a modern-era Duke Nukem-esque shooter, it may be worth a go, but for everyone else, there are far better third-person shooters on the market.
It's Hazard time.
You know, it's already getting kind of old.
What are you talking about?
Never mind, just go.